Welcome back to Cards and Comics, guys. Today I have a video that I'll give fair warning on. This is going to be mostly non-sports. So if you don't like non-sports, you just turn it off right now. Hopefully you saw it in the title, and this is really just something that I collect for fun. I do collect other things besides sports cards and comic books. I do a lot of toys and non-sports, and they are sort of like my just for fun, whatever is, catches my fancy type thing. I don't have like a master plan on collecting non-sports cards. It's just when I see something I like. And I do a lot of the DC box breaks, and I haven't done one in a while because, hint, hint, DC hasn't really put out a lot of boxes to open in quite some time. So I've been collecting other things in the meantime. But one of the things I do collect quite a bit is I like the, let's say, I think it was mid 80s to late 90s or early 90s anime. And I was a big Robotech fan as a kid. In fact, that's the one of the main toy lines I collect. So looking for cards, I did find this box of cards here from, I believe, Brazil. And never seen it before, and it's got Chromie on it. And if you look, Chromie has done, other sets, and you can see they've done She-Ra, and you can see that they've done other, A-Team, and some other superpowers properties. And I think these were, Latin American type products. So I'm going to open this up, and we'll just see what this product looks like, because I think it's kind of cool to have something, made. Well, let's just say this. There wasn't a lot of Robotech products made, in the card market. There was a set, a Macross set, and I have some cards from it. But this was a little bit different. This Macross cards also were not the best looking. And I do also have... later on they did some inserts or some autographs from that set. I have the full autograph set from that Robotech Macross from the voice actor, so that's pretty cool. I'll show that. I may have shown it off once. But these, I think these were supposed to be playing cards. I'm not going to damage the box because I'm going to keep it all on the box. But here we go. They look like they're playing cards. I'm just taking off the tape here from the actual product. So this has never been opened. This is all and then if I look at the box, maybe I can figure out when it was made. Here we go. So this is 1985. We can focus in here. And it was a Harmony Gold trademark. So this was licensed from Harmony Gold, who had the Robotech license in America to this company, I think in Brazil, to make a Latin America card set out of Robotech. So here is the header card. So let's just see what we got. I've never seen these cards before. I don't know if it's a game. I can't read Spanish, so I can't really tell what that is. But that's sort of a insert card. And I do like, I just like the fact that it has a lot of art from the set. And it's almost like garish, in terms of colors. It's so bright. So yeah, like here is Rick Hunter. And again, I think this is the journey through the whole series. I mean, here he's with kind of his squad. There's Max and Ben, Captain Global. There's Roy. So I just like the fact that you're seeing both. Again, the backs are all the same. The mecha and the characters, like that's Min May. Another Min May. Lisa. So kind of fun. There's some villains. Some villains mecha. It goes into the Master series. So then there's Rook from the New Generation. Rook. Let's see. I was a big Rand fan. He was one of my guys. And then, and then when I got into Wheel of Time, I could fall in love with Rand all over again, or hate, either one. That's really cool. But, so there's the mecha There's Rand again, so that's cool. Some more mecha. So all in all, I think they're pretty cool. Again, there's something that I never would have saw in America because this obviously was not made for American audience. But I like the fact there's some header cards, which just artwork that doesn't go with. It's just like almost like bonus cards like that. So I might actually try to get these graded to see if they'll grade them, because I just think it'd be fun to have some of those cards graded, some of the character cards, and just see if I can get PSA or SGC to grade them. But there you go. That is like a game set Robotech issued in 1985. So there you go to start out with. All right, next up is a fun card. Really, I'm going to go in any order. I'm just going to do it as I'm missing my game explanation here. Next up is a card I just picked up because I'm watching the Fallout TV series, and I'm a big fan of the Righteous Gemstones. So I got Walton Goggins auto from the 2018 Ant-Man Wasp set. And there you go. Walton Goggins. It's an 8, but it's just cool to have an autograph of this guy. He's so cool right now. And I would love like a Righteous Gemstone or maybe a Fallout set. Who knows? But he plays the ghoul and does a great job. And this guy is super hot. Everyone's all about him right now. Next up, again, when I talk about DC cards, I'm getting ready to do a DC video. I've been thinking about it for a long time. I'm very angry about the state of DC cards right now. Like, the state of DC cards is the most shameful IP that exists today, and of any IP worth $1, because DC should have a licensing deal with a major manufacturer that can actually put out a set of cards worth a damn, because they own Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman. Like, that alone should allow them to be with Upper Deck, Panini, Fanatics, Topps, whoever. But they're not. They're with Cryptozoic, who doesn't care anymore, and they're doing all their sets through not Patreon, but like Kickstarter. So they don't even have enough money to make new sets. And then they've got the stupid game set that they do, the hybrid set, which no one cares about. Look at the sell prices for that stuff on eBay. It's just ridiculous. So, but they did make some cool cards back in the 2000s, and this card set came out in, let's see here. This was Cryptozoic, and they don't actually have the years on these. Oh my gosh. What kind of... So this would have been probably 2017, 2018, I was going to guess. And it's from one of their, I think it's from the Superheroes and Villains set. And I've been putting together the Watchmen, all the character cards from the Watchmen from this set, because this is one of the few sets that has the Watchmen original Alan Moore Watchmen characters. So you can get Rorschach, you can get the comedian, you can get Night Owl. And so I've been building and getting every character from the Watchmen as a sketch card, because they've never made a Watchmen set, even with the TV show. I mean, this is how terrible DC is, right? You have a really good movie, The Watchmen. You have a really awesome TV show that got tons of ratings and tons of publicity, and they don't have any cards from it other than the hybrid cards, which are dumb. So this is the closest thing we're going to get to it. This one set from Cryptozoic allowed the artist to put Watchmen characters into it, and a lot of them did. So this is my Dr. Manhattan, and I have a couple of Rorschachs in my collection as well. So there you go, and it's a great sketch, by the way. It is a very, like, who, I can't really tell who the artist is. Maybe someone can. It's like Supra or something like that. But they did a great job. That's like an artist proof level sketch right there. And next up is another again great sketch card from DC, and they had a series of cards called Bombshells that were basically like pinups. They took like pinup art style and made a whole set out of it. They even eventually made a comic book out of it. Here's Matthias Streb, who's a pretty well-known artist in the sketch card field, and he did a Hawk Girl, and it's one of the nicest Hawk Girls I've ever seen. Obviously, it's got that, let's say cyber. What is it? It's not cyberpunk. It's sort of like steampunk look to it, in 50s pinup girl style. And a lot of times the best sketches and bombshells they would use as the regular cards. So a lot of times in bombshells sets, none of the cards were actually, let's say, comic art. They were just sketch cards that they turned into actual cards. So you could actually pull the sketch card that was used to make a regular card. This is one of the cards, I believe, that was used to make a base card out of the set. Okay, and it's such a nice card. So there you go. 2 DC sketch cards. And you can see why my anger is so high on this, because as a DC fan, and the fact that they own Superman and all the Superman characters and all the Batman characters, and how well all the animated movies are doing. In fact, they're getting ready to issue Bruce Timm is getting ready to revisit the Batman animated series, kind of like, in a different way, but like, very, very tangential to it. On Amazon Prime, that's coming out pretty soon. And so, like, the highly relevant animated universe that has turned out tons of great content that they could use for cards and all this stuff, and it's just none of it exists. It's just this giant black hole in IP that's out there. Next up is like, I bought 2 of these cards. I bid on both, and I got confused, and I just ended up buying them both, and it's fine. But it's from 1992 DC Cosmic cards, and they're both Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle is like my favorite DC character, specifically the Ted Kord Blue Beetle. There's 3 Blue Beetles that's lived, that's been in print. There's Dan Garrett, who was the original Blue Beetle. In fact, I am getting in the mail the first issue of Blue Beetle from 1939. So a golden age classic book with an amazing cover. That's Dan Garrett. And Blue Beetle first appeared in the Mystery Men. So I don't know, like, for people who don't, the comic book movie history, there was a comic book movie called Mystery Men based on those characters. Now, I think they made all the characters up. They didn't use the actual characters from the Mystery Men series, from what I remember, because Blue Beetle would have been one of them. They made up all brand new characters, but they used the title Mystery Men. That was one of the first superhero movies that really existed after, like, the Tim Burton, movies came out. And so, like, Ben Stiller was in that. And so Blue Beetle originally appeared in that series, The Mystery Man. Then he had his own book starting in 1939. And then it turned into his nephew, Ted Kord, took over as the Blue Beetle. And then eventually Jaime Reyes took over from Ted. Ted died, and then he came back, and it's comic booky stuff. But Jaime Reyes is like the movie that just came out on Blue Beetle is based on. I'm a Ted Kord fan, so I collect Ted Kord stuff. So this is Ted Kord. I open a box of the Cosmic cards on my channel, so for people who want to go back and look through that video. Next up is something odd, just I picked up because I collect a very specific Magic cards. So this is an oubliette. I am putting together an Arabian Night set very slowly. I probably have a third of it done, and so this is a card I needed for that set. Again, I used to be big into Magic. I'm not in it really anymore. I just picked that up for fun. Next up is a cool sketch card, because I'm going back and I've started rewatching this whole series, and it's just a great series. And I love these 2 characters, and I'm glad, because to me they're the original, like, Harley and Ivy, power couple. It's Xena, and here is the actual actors from Renee and Lucy Lawless, Renee O'Connor, Lucy Lawless. So yeah, like it's great. We got Gabrielle and Xena here on one card. Now, I wanted to get the dual auto, so I was looking around for to have them both on one card because I could get them individually, but I want them together because it's kind of like the pair is what I'm interested in because I'm going back watching the series from the beginning all the way to the end. They made an animated version of the show, which I didn't even know about, and this card comes from that animated series. But it just also proves again back to my DC. I'm going to be going back to DC all the time. That that Xena and Hercules have a universe which is like one show and one animated show with multiple card sets. There's multiple Xena and Hercules card sets, and even one based on an animated series that didn't last very long. And there is almost zero animated DC Universe card sets, and virtually no relevant card sets made in the last 5 or 6 years. So just very sad. But I'm glad this exists, and these are really nice autos. Look at that. And so I'm definitely in the market for. They do have some wardrobe dual autos that exist, and I want to get one. And again, this set has. If you go back to the Xena's that set, there's tons of great actors that have autos in that set. So you can get some really cool actors. Bruce Campbell's in that set, so you can get a Bruce Campbell auto from that set. So I might actually open a box of it just to see if I can get a cool auto. But there you go. That is Renee and Lucy Lawless dual auto from Xena. Next up is again another sketch card from the DC universe. One of my characters. So I mentioned Blue Beetle. So I'm putting together the Watchmen set just through sketch cards because nothing else exists. So the characters I collect in both comic book covers and in sketch cards for DC is Blue Beetle. Hardly ever anything ever comes out. Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, Zatanna. So those are like the guys, and Booster Gold. I'm a fan of Booster Gold. The dual, like everything blue and gold. I'm a big fan of. So here is a very nice Zatanna. And this is an early. I want to say this is like, early 2000s sketch card because it's got the sketch effects, kind of this kind of blank background. This is a very nice Zatanna sketch for the time. These early sketch cards were sometimes just almost like stick figures, in terms of like detail. And this is a very detailed and a very nice Zatanna sketch. So I ended up picking this up. What's going on with the DC sketch cards right now that's kind of disappointing is what you're seeing right now is that a lot of the sketch cards, the good ones are like Sketch Card Apocalypse or Apocalypse or Apocalypse or whatever. He's got a lot of them. Like he's hoarded them, and so they're all on like buy it nows at big numbers. Very rarely do they come up for auction. So to pick up some of the nicer sketch cards from the DC universe, you either gotta pay, make an offer, hopefully, but you can't just open products, get them on ePack like you can Marvel cards. I mean, they're just so limited to try to find them that I can't get really nice ones without having to go through and pay a lot of money for them. Next up is, again, I mentioned Bruce Timm. I thought this is really cool that there was in the Justice League set through Inkworks. When Inkworks had the DC, some of the DC licenses, they did a Bruce Timm card, and it's really cool. They even did like a little write-up on him and everything, but they put out an autograph. So here's a Bruce Timm. Again, Bruce Timm was one of the creators of the animated Batman series, so probably the best animated superhero series of all time. I can't imagine anything that's even close to its impact and how well written and just how moving. I mean, there's touching episodes. There's so many good episodes in that series that just make you want to watch it. It's such a great series. So Bruce Timm is coming back again on Amazon with a new series. So I'm going to be really interested in that to see how that comes out. Next up again, back in the old Zatanna sketch cards. So again, without just due to the fact that I can't get sketch cards anymore through DC, um, you know, I have to sometimes go to, artists and just have people make sketch cards for me. And so here is a sketch card that I bought from just a sketch card artist on, and I think his name is Todd um, Maloney. But this is a Zatanna sketch card that he did for me. There you go. It's a great sketch card. You can see it's, all the bleed through on the back to show that it was it's not a print. It's a real sketch card. But you can see again how nice you can get sketch cards of DC characters if you just pay the right artist to make the right card. And again, even compared to the original, to a real pack pooled Zatanna, this is a really nice one, but just how good these artists are today. And how amazing would it be for someone of this level of skill to be able to put together a actual DC set using characters, because again, the characters have evolved since the last time a DC set was issued, and it would be great to see a brand new set out there with using some of these new characters. And the same guy did this Iron Man sketch for me too. It's kind of cool. Really, he's a good artist. You can see on the back. There you go. And it's very interesting how good of sketch cards you can get today if you just have enough money to ask a guy to make one for you versus just waiting around for something. Next up is a Joker sketch card from the Batman archives. And again, this is a set that was issued, gosh, I want to say like 2007, 2008. I'm really bad with my years here. But it's a cool one because I believe it's the same artist who did the Zatanna. So there you go. Yep, same artist. So this is the Joker, and this is in. I like the line work. Great line work. Really nice, artist, and I like the fact that they use color, because sometimes back in this time period, a lot of the art was still black and white, and putting that little bit of green in the hair and the red around the eyes and lips makes it stand out and gives it a very creepy look to it. So that's a very cool, two very cool sketch cards from DC that are pack pooled. And then last but not least, in the old DC universe here is the year I was born, 1974. These cards were issued, and I didn't even know much about them until a guy ran a bunch of them on auction, and I won 2 of them. And there was kind of some bidding going on for these cards. Like, I actually didn't win like 4 or 5 that I bid on. So I won the Superman and the Robin. I didn't win the Batman. I really wanted the Batman. But here they are, 74 National Periodical cards. Here is the Batman in a PSA 7, or Superman, sorry, in PSA 7. I love the single color background. I mean, you gotta remember, we don't have a ton of 70s DC cards that are kind of like character. Like, you remember the 66 Batman set that has some character cards, but there's not a lot of character cards where you just have the character on a background. Like, this is a great on a normal size card. And then it has kind of a comic book thing on the back. I don't know what these really were. If I've kind of looked into them a little bit. It's almost like these were designed to be like given away as part of with like a greeting cards or something. I don't know. Like, I don't know if this was really designed to be a trading card set. Like, you would get them and you would give them to other people, and it wasn't designed to be like a wax pack type product. But it's cool they exist. And here's the Superman. And then I also have an 8 in the Robin. And the Robin has a very nice soft pink behind him. And someone was saying that they think that some of the artwork could be from, trying to think of some of the nice Batman artists. I can't think. I'm drawing a blank, but that they used some of the art from the 70s, like Denny O'Neil or something like that. So it could have been, some good artists that they just pulled this artwork from and didn't actually credit anyone because I don't see anyone's name on the art at all. So, but it is a nice looking card. And again, I would love to have the full set just because they look really cool and it'd be fun to display, having all the different characters all displayed together. So I might end up trying to find the rest of them, but this kind of just came out of the blue. I'm like, hey, that is a cool looking card. So that is my non-sports kind of like mail day. It's a lot of fun, just picking up, like, for example, the Xena card. I just like, hey, like, I like the series. I remember as a kid, and this card was like super duper cheap. Same way for this Bruce Timm card. It's now these DC sketch cards are not super duper cheap a lot of times just because of just how rare they're getting. Comparatively, they're expensive for, if you want to say like the popularity of DC cards is very low. So paying like $100 for a DC sketch card is wildly out of line with what normal DC cards sell for. So it's kind of like there's this weird price disproportionality between the popularity of DC right now in cards and how much some of these cards actually cost. So, but it is what it is. A lot of very limited supply, I guess. So let me know what you think about the non-sports. I know, not a lot of folks on my channel collect non-sports, but I try to keep things interesting and diverse as much as I can. I really like this as well, my Robotech card set. But let me know what was your favorite, and if you want to see more of this kind of content, let me know. Let me know if you want to see my toy collection. I can try to show some of it off. It's it's not going to be like $1 million toys. It's going to be like Robotech and some Transformers and things like that. So if you want to see that, I might do a video on that. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll see you next time on Cards and Comics. Bye.